We haven't done a quarterback evaluation on here in a while, so I'm excited to finally get to do another one. And Bryson Beaver, kid that I was not aware of until a couple days ago, but Oregon just offered him, I think, the 14th, and then finished second in an Elite 11 event after Diabella. Diabella, very big fan of him on this channel, and Ole Miss just offered him the other day. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see just a whole lot of offers come this kid's way as teams see that. Oh, he's good enough for Dan Lanning, and oh, he's good enough for Lane Kiffin. He's probably good enough for me then. 6'2.5", 200 Vista Murrieta in California. We'll take a look. As I always say with these quarterbacks, I'm no former quarterback. I'm not a quarterback expert. Gonna trust my eyes. You guys tell me about the finer points of the game. Always hard to tell about pre-snap reads. A lot of the mental stuff that comes along with playing quarterback, we won't be able to tell on a highlight tape video. Unfortunately, it's not within my resources, or I don't have the clout to get these kids into a film room. And obviously, that's such a big part. Understanding the offense, such a big part of playing quarterback. But we'll do what we can with the highlight tape. Seen a lot of what this kid can do outside the pocket, off platform. I don't think we've seen a single clean pocket yet. There's one, and it was like a 3-yard slant. But I do like this kid's motion. You know, I always say I'm out of my depth, like telling you about throwing motion and all that, but everything looks real clean. No real hitches. Not a long delivery by any means. And I think that's one of the biggest things that comes along with recruiting high school prospects. Because we're starting to understand that's like one of those things that's a lot harder to change at the next level. I always thought like pre-snap reads, that's more of an experience thing, I think. Well, yeah, if the kid doesn't have the mental capacity to do it, that's one thing, but I hate seeing discourse about high school quarterbacks especially. It's like, oh, he ran a very one-dimensional offense. You know, you didn't have to do full field reads. And like, it's a high school offense. You have fucking lunch ladies calling the offense and bus drivers running the offense. Like, I'm not worried about that. Okay, so clean throwing motion. I don't think this reason this kid took so long to get taken seriously by schools is because I don't think he has anything that stands out the way that these schools look for. So what do I mean by that? He's not 6'5". He doesn't have a absolute cannon. I think his arm strength's good enough to be effective at the next level, but I don't think you're going to be talking about him with an NFL arm right now. And he's not a guy that's going to run for 200 yards his freshman year of college on the ground. And I think those three things, if you have one of those three traits, right, like you're 6'4", if you're a hell of an athlete, like a 99 percentile athlete, and if you're what was the other one? If you have an absolute cannon for an arm, I think it kind of takes schools a bit longer to convince themselves that you're worthy of an offer. With this kid, I think you see good ball placement. I think he throws with pretty good touch downfield. There's a lot of throws that pretty layered throws that you don't see a lot of high school kids making. You'll watch a lot of these top 5-star prospects. They'll just have absolute cannons. They'll just be able to throw the ball like over a mountain. But you won't really see those more nuanced throws where they're able to hit a streak in stride right before the safety gets there. Those are things that I think this kid does well. Maybe some of the smaller things, but he certainly is athletic enough to create outside of the pocket. Like I said, he's just not one of those guys that's going to just go crazy on the ground. But I think with the right plan in place, with the right offense, with the right quarterback development, this is certainly a kid that could be effective in college football. A lot of those mental things that I said you can't pick up on a highlight tape, those are stuff that we're not even going to really have to mention just because there's no way for us to understand that just through a highlight tape. But you guys let me know what you think about Bryson Beaver. If I was wrong, if I'm underrating him, if I'm overrating him. But I think he's a good prospect for sure. If I had watched him before knowing that Oregon offered him, I probably would have told you I'm pretty surprised he doesn't at least have an Oregon offer, just being in Oregon's wheelhouse in California. Whether that's committable or not, that's a completely different story. But yeah, definitely a good prospect. You guys let me know what you think.